And what to say about the Vuelta Burgos. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm recording this video right after the one of Strade Bianche. Both races finished today, and I must say that I was also very pleased with the show that we had in the Vuelta Burgos. As one of the post-COVID stage races, it was nice to see that there was a lot of respect between the riders, teams, and also the audience on the new rules and the limitations that there must be, especially for these stage races, which are the places where there's most risk of cases appearing all around. It was a very good show nonetheless. In the start line, we had riders like Ivan Souza and Richard Carapaz and Eddie Dunbar representing Team Ineos. We had Mikel Landa, Remco Evenepoel, and lots of big stars, not only for the climbers but also representing the sprinters. We had Sam Bennett, part of the Koenig, who was here with most of his lead out. And there was also Fernando Gaviria, who won stage 2, not only with a sprint that equaled a sprint of some of his best days. It was also very good to see that, at least in Gaviria, of course in other riders it may have different implications, but on Gaviria there were no apparent medium or long-term effects. The win he took was fair and square, very dominant. It's good to see him back at his best, especially because there were some worries related to it. On stage 1 there were many echelons. It was a very brilliant show. Exactly because of that, I have a live stream currently. I can't do live streams for around 90 days, which as a consequence sort of led to this series. So I'm not going to say if it's good or bad. We're going to have to see that later and judge for yourselves. uh, there was a win by Felix Grosschartner, which at the time put me very optimistic of the chances that he had to win the race overall, because he is actually a climber and not one that I recognize as very punchy. The way he won stage 1 was dominant, convincing, and a continuation of the work that Bora has done over this off-season, which has led to a massive dominance in Serie Tour. He did very well. He took the lead. Evenepoel was there. Valverde then was a disappointment on stage 3, but an expected one, as he had just came from altitude, and he usually doesn't fare well just coming out of altitude. He struggled in the long climbs, as it was somewhat expected. There was a big win by Remco Evenepoel, a dominant one in that summit finish. George Bennett, Esteban Chavez showing themselves very strong. Chavez was a surprise, a very positive surprise to see him almost at his best, but as we've seen now in this final stage, maybe he's not quite there yet, or maybe he will never be, which is a little bit of a sad thought to have, but it's a possibility as always. Now in Lagunas de Nila, he lost some time, a lot of time in some places in the overall as well. He lost his podium. Landa was there, Carapaz was working for Souza, who cracked on that day, I believe because of some crosswind action as well. He spent too much. In that day, some people thought that he was done, like he just wasn't in the form, but the way he came back now to win this final stage in Lagunas de Nila was impressive, beating Landani, beating Evenepoel. It was a massive performance, which I'm really excited to see if on Strava he'll have some power data. Normally he has, so I'm going to be very watchful on it. Evenepoel, however, took a big stage win in stage 3, or yeah, stage 3 exactly, and very controlling in Lagunas de Nila. He never looked under stress. He almost looked like he was going to win the stage at one point, so he's looking very confident. If I'm not mistaken, he's won both San Juan and the Tour of the Algarve, so both stage races that he had started previously to Burgos, he has already won on the overall, and here he repeats the same. So he's going with the Giro, to the Giro with great confidence. As the main contender, no, of course not, and he will never be, no matter how much he wins still this year, because it's a 3-week race, and let's just face it, he's never done it, and he's just 20, but he's a very good prospect to do so, as I've talked about in a previous video of Rolling Thoughts. So it's really exciting to see Evenepoel still rolling so well, even more to see João Almeida finish on the podium. I've raced with João personally back when he was a junior, and so was I in 2016. He was already a massive talent at the time, and seeing how well he's doing, and in the Koenig, a team that's going to provide him with so many opportunities, space, a strong bike, and this isn't an advert to Specialized. It's just the Koenig and Bora just absolutely smash plenty of races. it's very good to see the young man still doing very well, and he's only gonna go up from here. You can trust my words. And it was a very good edition of Vuelta a Burgos. The start list was amazing. There was a win also by Sam Bennett on stage 4, which was very impressive. A win, an attack on that final kilometer on an uphill finish. He didn't just wait for the sprint. There was a crash in the entrance of the final kilometer, and the way he attacked solo and brutalized that finish. Then in the peloton, if I'm not mistaken, it were Giacomo Nizzolo and Arnaud Demartin wrapping up the podium, but very far away from Bennett. It was an impressive display of power by the Irishman, who seems to also be on his best level already. And there's a lot of good conclusions from this Vuelta a Burgos. Let's hope that no cases will have appeared from this race, as it's a baseline for the top level of cycling. And in the Tour of Pologne in the next few weeks, alongside the Tour de l'Ain, the Route d'Occitanie, I mean, and the Dauphiné, we're going to have a very base measure of what is expected on the next few months of cycling regarding stage races. So far so good. I hope that you've liked the race. I hope that you also liked this video. Like the video if you liked it, and remember to subscribe if you want more content like this, which should likely come now frequently. And I'll see you in the next one.